Hello and welcome to another episode of The Beard Talks Metal. I'm going to be talking about the new record from Code Orange, which is out today. Probably the first major metal release of 2017. So I've just finished listening to it now. Got the record today. It's a nice little package there. Don't know if you can see that it's got the black light of the tiger on there, or puma, whatever it is. So yeah, they've just signed. Well, they signed last year to Roadrunner Records, which was off the back of their last LP, I Am King. Did really well. Sat at the top of a lot of people's sort of year-end lists in 2014. Managed to see them a couple of times off the back of that record, and you know they're really good. I think it's refreshing to see sort of youngsters, I suppose, you know, making that kind of sound again. I'm going to be touching upon, as I sort of go through what I think of the record, touching on some of the sort of points that you know, they're just kind of blending a lot of that kind of early 2000s, late 90s kind of metallic hardcore on this record, as they had done previously. So just talking about the record itself. There's about 10 tracks on there, and it's a bit of a hodgepodge of influences. I would have said. They're the sort of equivalent of one of those Will It Blend videos. You know, everything from kind of, as I say, the late 90s, early 2000s kind of metallic hardcore. Lots of melodic stuff on there as well, without kind of affecting, you know, their sound overall. There's lots of industrial on there as well. I mean, I'm a big fan of bands like 9 Inch Nails and Frontline Assembly, and things like that. And you can hear that you know they're working that into that sound as well. So as I say, I've just given it a listen now. Just finished about sort of 10-15 minutes ago, and yeah, as I say, it's all over the place, but in a good way. There's very few tracks that sort of hit over the 3-minute mark. It's very, as I said earlier, it's like one of those Will It Blend videos. They're obviously quite young, and you know they've been brought up in the era of Napster and Spotify and YouTube and things like that. And have clearly gone, well, I like that, let's see what it all sounds like together. So just going through some of the tracks there. There's Real, really nice double pedal intro on that one, quite machine heady in places, and I mean kind of early Machine Head, kind of Burn My Eyes, More Things Change type stuff. Again, it's kind of got the electronics and the industrial kind of elements weaving in and out of that. And one thing I've really noticed with Code Orange Code Orange, and you know, that was what turned me onto them when I first heard them, is that they really have a disembodied influence to them. So a lot of those kind of chug and the pinch harmonics and things like that, which was absolutely prevalent again in that kind of late 90s, early 2000s metallic hardcore. You know, and it's interesting that a band like Code Orange is getting as big as they are, considering that they essentially just sound like a disembodied homage. I don't want to say rip-off, because they do have their own sound, but there's a lot of disembodied in there. So I think the interesting tracks on here for me are the ones that kind of go off down that more melodic kind of route. Bleeding the Blur, it's got a bit of a typo negative kind of intro onto it, Again, this is something I picked up a long time ago, that actually Code Orange aesthetics on I Am King and their artwork and things like that is actually very typo negative influenced, which is why I thought it was very interesting when they signed to Roadrunner Records. Whether I think they've been pursuing Roadrunner Records for that reason, because they're interested in those kind of 90s aesthetics that they've picked up over the years. Yeah, so Bleeding in the Blur, as I say, that's kind of typo negative, meets kind of the Breeders, Sleater Kinney, that kind of stuff. Really, really good vocals from Reba, the guitarist. I understand she's got a side project that kind of sounds very similar anyway, which I think I might be picking up, might be checking that out. There's a couple of tracks on there, The Mud and Hurt Goes On, which have got, you know, massive industrial influences. As I say, there's definitely some Frontline Assembly in there, definitely some Nine Inch Nails, but you know, it still sounds like Code Orange. Once they put it all together, it's still their sound, but you know, without a doubt, they are showing their influences on their sleeves. You know, and that's no bad thing. They're clearly very popular. They're doing very well. You know, and yeah, I think they're doing something different in the current climate, and I think that's why they are doing so well. If there's one kind of issue I have with the album overall, is that there's a couple of tracks that seem to finish quite abruptly. Dream 2, which is, I think it's technically the last track, but if you listen to Dream 2 and then start again from the very beginning, it seems to seeg in quite nicely. So I don't know if there's a bit of a sequencing issue there, but then, you know, that's just a personal opinion. So if I was going to give it a score, for me, I think I'm going to do it out of beards. That's going to be my scoring thing. So I think it's going to be a 3 beards out of 5 for me. It's good. Sounds really nice. You know, there's a lot of heavy bits in there. There's, you know, some real mosh pit moments, some real chug. I think, you know, people are going to be very happy in the pit, but it's not as cohesive as it could be. And I think, you know, that they are just kind of finding their feet when it comes to melding those influences together. So anyway, so that's Code Orange forever. It's a good record. Go pick it up. And yeah, so I'll see you next time. Cheers.